Hello everybody, we are here with not one, not two, but three Berkeley alumni. We're talking about the movie Gleason, which all of these guys had a part in. You were executive producer, but you're also really good friends with Steve Gleason.
Yeah, I think we should start by saying that I'm a football meathead, so I literally have no business being here at Sundance right now. But just a little bit of backstory on Steve and our connection. So Steve was a good friend and teammate of mine from New Orleans with the Saints. Was really the guy who kind of took me under his wing and showed me all the city had to offer. And to me, the way I see it is once he got diagnosed, it actually heightened everything else. Like the charisma actually got even bigger, and then the resilience and everything everybody always knew about him anyway, being sort of the overachieving underdog. It's just like, this guy's so resilient. The average life expectancy of a patient with ALS is 2 to 5 years. So just being realistic about his chances of living a long time and beating this thing, he was being realistic about that. So he wanted to share as much of himself with his child, and it was just born in that intention. And that's how this whole thing began. It's kind of on the rest of us as his friends and sort of teammates and his support group to say, all right, man, let's figure out a way to make it happen. I have no idea how we're going to pull it off,
right.
But somehow things kind of always cosmically come together.
So he's not a filmmaker, right? His connections in film come from, I'm assuming, Kevin, you're in the industry, you've been producing for quite some time. What's your connection with Steve, and how did that start?
Another producer on the film Kimmy Colt, approached me and told me about Steve's story, and it resonated with me because I had a friend from Cal, David Ames, who had ALS. She told me about, they had all this footage, I think more than 1,000 hours of footage that had been shot at that point over the course of 4 years, and they weren't sure what they were going to do with it. And, Ty and David, the two young guys who had shot most of that footage, had cut together a piece of the film to show us what it could look like, and it was just, it knocked everyone's socks off.
If you could sum up Steve in one word, what would it be?
One word? Tenacity.
Tenacity.
Right. If you just go all the way back through his life, he was this guy who probably from a scouting report you might not think he's going to be an all-star, and he just won people over because he never gave up. He became the captain of special teams, right? I mean, he just never gave up, and that's why we're here. I mean, there are so many roadblocks in his life, in this project. There's many times we looked at each other and thought, this is not going to happen.
What was the process of that? The film footage was it just a matter of piecing it together, building a narrative?
Clay went out and shot footage. Some footage, additional footage. I mean, the bulk of the footage had been shot.
Interesting.
So it was really, directorially for him, it was kind of an editorial feat where he kind of found and shaped the narrative the story that was going to get told.
With this much footage, this is one story. Had we picked somebody else, you could have taken a different story from this footage. Mm-hmm. There's so many avenues that we could have pursued on this project. It could have been what Steve has accomplished with Team Gleason. It could be more time spent on Steve and his son. But I think the product
could be his wife Michelle's story.
It could be Michelle's story. So
this is one story. This could be a franchise, sequels, right?
I don't know if we can do it.